It doesn't matter what you use to justify war. Religion, philosophy, resources, land, revenge, love, even a whim. No matter how trivial the motive, they're all worthy causes for war. There will always be war. The reason can be found later. Human instincts seek conflict. Obito is a character that is really difficult to understand in the Naruto story. I find his character to be really difficult to understand because he is conflicting, because at one point you can clearly see why he's doing what he's doing, but at the same time you're also wondering why he went this path and why are these his actions. So when we're introduced to Obito, him and Kakashi were like Naruto and Sasuke at the time for them. They weren't getting along, and when Rin gets kidnapped, Kakashi is still trying to figure out what he has to do with himself. He still doesn't think that going beyond the rules is not what a shinobi should do. But Obito, doing the right thing, he goes and saves Rin. And in that moment, an accident happens and Obito is crushed by these rocks, and he gives his Sharingan to Kakashi, telling him one last thing, to take care of Rin and to protect her. And Kakashi promises that he will do so. And we think that at this point Obito is dead, but miraculously he gets saved by Madara. And at this point we get to really know what happened to Obito before he took the identity of Madara and before he started to do everything he did at point of the story that we're reading. So when Obito woke up, the only thing that he wanted to do was going back to Rin and Kakashi, because he knew that his friends were fighting in the war and he wanted to be there for them. But he was really injured also at the time, so he couldn't move also. Madara told him that going back would be useless because his body is not useful anymore to fight. But Obito was still determined. So a lot of time passed and he trained and he finally got the chance to go out. He said thank you to Madara for saving him. But Madara told him that you will come back, and when you do come back, that's when you will repay me. Obito goes after Rin and Kakashi because he is told that they're in danger. He goes there and he sees Kakashi impaling Rin in that moment. And he goes into a rampage. And in that moment, he activates his Mangekyo Sharingan and he kills everybody in that moment. And this is the moment where Obito changes. He remembers Madara's words, wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only thing that truly exists in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. And he says that he is in hell. Now, we have to understand in this moment where Obito lost Rin, his light, his hope, the only person that he had in that moment was Madara. Kakashi was not there for him and Minato was not there for him. All he had was Madara. And Madara told him about his grand plan, about the infinite Tsukiyomi. And Obito truly believed that plan. So Obito is a really complicated character in my opinion, because a lot of people think that the reason why he announced the 4th Great Ninja War was because Rin died. Now Rin's death had a part on why Obito did the things he did. But it wasn't just Rin's death that made Obito the way he became. The reason why I think Obito did the things he did was not only because Rin died, but also because she was his light and soul. What I mean by that is that his viewpoint of the world completely changed. He started to really see shinobis for what they were. He saw that people weren't good to each other, that people killed each other for no reason, that why were they killing each other? What was the reason of this? Why were they at war? And how much the shinobi system was broken, how much people were broken with each other. The reason why he became the way he did was because he finally saw the world for what it was. And the reason why he wanted to create the infinite Tsukiyomi was because he wanted a better world for everybody. He wanted to create a world where nobody would have to feel the pain anymore. One of my all-time favorite chapters in Naruto is the chapter where we finally get introduced to Obito. It's called Obito Uchiha. And in that entire chapter, we get no dialogue from beginning to end. There's no dialogue. And we see Obito's life from where he was as a kid, from where we see him at the war arc. And I find that chapter to be so beautiful because not only there's no dialogue, I love the chapters where there's no dialogue because we the audience get to interpret and we get to see his life, how he went from an innocent kid to someone who wants to kill everybody in the war arc. Obito gets misunderstood because people call him a simp for Rin. And don't get me wrong, I kinda see why people call him a simp for Rin, because most of his lines are just him wanting Rin. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think his character is completely perfect. I'm not a big fan of how he died into the story. I think the line where Naruto says Obito is the coolest guy, do not like that line at all. I think that line is so cringy and so out of place for Naruto, because Obito was the one who killed his parents and was the one who put the Nine Tails and attacked his village and literally ruined his entire childhood. So I'm not a big fan of those moments of the story. But when I see these characters, especially villain characters or just characters who are doing something controversial or something difficult that people have to accept, I try to always think about it by their viewpoint. Why they're doing what they're doing, what is their reason, what is their viewpoint, what are their beliefs. I try to think about it that way so I can try to understand the character. And in my viewpoint and the way I see Obito, I think he was so broken with himself that he could not live without Rin. He could not see a world without Rin. Rin meant everything to him. But he also said that Rin was not the only reason he started the war. Some of the reasons were that this world was so horrible. The shinobi system was so broken. Shinobi themselves were so broken with each other that he felt like he had to change things. And obviously, it wasn't just Obito who was thinking all of this. He got really manipulated by Madara as well, because when he lost Rin, all he had was Madara. He went to Madara and Madara told him all these lies that everything will become better, and Obito actually believed them. Obito is a very broken person, in my opinion. He is very broken. When a man feels love, he must also bear the risk of feeling hate. I think trying to understand these characters are the most difficult things, because in my opinion Naruto has a lot of conflicting characters. Obito isn't the only character who is difficult to understand. In my opinion, all of the characters can be difficult to understand, but these are the things that I think make Naruto so beautiful, because not only we get to see things by different perspectives, because if we think about it, when Naruto suffered his pain, he decided that he was gonna do good. But when Obito suffered his pain, he decided that he was gonna rage out at the world. He's gonna scream at them. There was this quote that I said at the beginning of the video that was told by Pain. And he said that even love can be a reason for starting a war. That it does not matter the reason why you start the war. And I think that's how I try to cement Obito's character in my own opinion, obviously. I do get that he is a very conflicted character, and don't get me wrong, I don't think he's the best character of Naruto. He's not my favorite character, that's for sure. But I do find him to be a really compelling character, a really interesting character, and a really broken character. We can try to determine why he did what he did, if these were the reasons, if these were his actions. We can try to create our own opinions of why he did what he did in the war arc. But I think we have to accept the fact that sometimes we are not gonna be acceptable of other people's actions. We do not have to agree with their actions, and that's fine. That's okay. We all have our own viewpoints. We all think differently, and it's okay to have different opinions. I'm sure you have your own opinions about Obito, and I have my own opinions. And I think that's what matters.